Hey guys, so my laptop is dying a slow, painful death, so if I'm not answering things as quickly or this video looks different, it's because I'm using my phone for almost everything. It's fun. So I definitely want to talk about the things that I learned at Fresh Ink, but since I'm leaving for another festival in like 3 days, I don't really have time to collect my thoughts about that. So I thought I would talk about festivals and things that you guys should keep in mind, especially if you're going to your first one, but just in general. So the first thing is always sleep. It's gonna be really tempting, especially for those of us who don't have a curfew and for those of us who are legal drinking age, to stay up and hang out and drink and do all those fun things. And while I say do that occasionally, because that's a really easy way to meet people and make friends and everything like that, you also have to be really careful to keep yourself in good shape. Like, you need to sleep, you need to be focused. So if you're feeling tired, go to bed. Don't drink in excess. Like, even on the days where I have an off day, the next day I'm not gonna be like super wasted, which I don't suggest for anyone ever, but that's really, really important to sometimes take a night off and go to bed at 10 p.m., which I know makes me sound like a grandma, but sometimes it's necessary, especially if it's a very long festival. If it's something like 4, 5, 6 weeks, you need to keep up your stamina, quite honestly. And even the 2 week ones are really hard at some point. There's this like drop off in the second week where you just need to sleep and listen to your body and make sure that you do. Second thing is make sure you still have time to practice. Obviously, you have rehearsals, you have workshops, you have lessons, you have whatever you have, but you're still there to get better at your instrument, and you're not going to get better if you don't practice. If that means you have to wake up before breakfast, then go to bed a little bit earlier, don't have that second beer, don't do whatever you're going to do that night, wake up at 6 instead of 7 and go practice. It has to happen. The best way to do that is to look at the schedule and really plan out when you have practice time and make sure you use it. Look at the schedule the night before and go, okay, when do I have time where I'm not going to kill myself trying to run between things so I can take an hour and practice? And this is where all my things where like a half an hour is better than nothing like come into play. If you only have half an hour that day, take that half an hour and do something really productive. If you're struggling with something in your rep, take that half an hour and fix that thing. If you haven't done your technique in like 3 days, take that half an hour and do some scales, do some arpeggios, do some technical exercises. Like, really make the best use of your time. Because if you spend 4 weeks at a festival and practice 3 times, that's not going to help you very much. Like, practice. That's the biggest thing I can tell you guys. Practice and sleep are the two most important things when you're at a festival. Some other things that are also important are pay attention, take notes, especially when you're in like a workshop setting like I was just in. Taking notes in those workshops is vital because you're never going to remember everything. I also took photos of important slides so that I could get that information later rather than having to write down like a million URLs or something like that. I know some people who have asked if they could record the lectures beforehand. Make sure you ask before you do that, but that can also be really helpful. But being present and there and taking notes is really the most important thing. If you're sitting there half asleep, you might as well have taken a nap, quite honestly. Naps are great. If you can take them, do it. Also, practicing tired is not going to help you. If your choice is between an hour nap and an hour of what may not be helpful practice because you're super tired, take the nap. And one of the biggest things that I see people doing is they stick to their friends. They might know people coming in to the festival, and so they're like, okay, these are safe people, these are people I know, these are people I know how to talk to, and everything like that. Which is great, and it's good to keep those friendships alive, but you're there to network, and you're there to meet people, and you're there to make connections that can help you in the future. And if you're only talking to the people you already know, you're missing out on a world of connections that you could definitely have. So talk to people. I know it's scary. One of the things that they talk to us about at Fresh Ink is like everything you do talk to 3 people that you've never talked to before. And at a festival, it's easy. You go, hi, what do you play? Where do you go to school? How did you find out about this? And chances are you're going to find about 4 people you know in common and at least 5 or 6 experiences that you've both shared. So it's really easy at a festival. Just go up to them and say, hi, I'm so-and-so. I play this instrument. What do you play? And they're going to do the same thing. If that seems really scary to you, look for the other person who's alone and go and pick them off, because they're probably doing the same thing. And after you make a group of people, then you can start floating out into the other groups and meet everyone. Because it's really, really important to network. As I said, these people can be contacts in the future. I've stayed at people's houses when I was auditioning from people I met at a festival. Like, I have found work connections. I potentially am playing at a festival that's run by someone I just met. Like, these are people who can really help you out in the future, and you potentially could help out in the future as well. So don't just stick to who you know. Meet people, talk to people, really make connections. And I think the last thing is enjoy it. I don't know why I had to think about that for so long, but I did. Enjoy it. It's 2, 6, however many weeks of your life where you're not in school, you're playing music, and you're in somewhere new. Obviously, everything I just told you is be studious and be aware, but also don't be afraid to have some fun. On your off day, go do something cool, like go to the beach if that's possible, or go on an adventure in town, or go out to dinner sometimes, especially if you're at a college campus and the dorm food sucks. Like, find someone with a car and be like, hey, let's go get food. Like, do fun things. Festivals are fantastic, and I love them, and it's been a really great experience to meet all these people who are doing the same thing I am. So definitely don't take it for granted, and definitely make the most of it, and sleep and practice. So next week I'm going to be back into vlog style videos because I will be at Splice Institute, which is an electroacoustic festival in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And then after that, we will see what happens because I am probably moving. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great week, and I will see you soon.